Hey guys, what's going on? Before we start this knife video, we wanted to tell you about some things you need to have before we start laying down the basics and stuff for these knives. And so what you need to have at first is either permission from your parents or your guardian, and parental supervision if you're a beginner.
And we first want to apologize for not getting this video out quicker. We've been trying, but we've been busy with just everyday life and soccer and piano practice, so we've been really busy, and we want to apologize for not getting it out quicker. First, we're going to go over 11 basic rules that keep you safe with your knife and to keep it clean and hopefully last you a lifetime. So, number 1 is to always handle your knife with care and just make sure to not underestimate the power of it.
Rule number 2 is cut away from your body, not towards it, because if you cut towards it, if the knife slipped, it could stab you or cut you really bad. And so just make sure you're cutting away from anybody.
And rule number 3 is if you drop your knife, don't try to catch it. The blade is mostly the heaviest part of the knife, so if it falls, it's probably going to fall blade down. If you drop it, just step back and let it fall. If it breaks it, then at least it's not worth getting stitches for, right?
So rule number 4 is never run with a knife, because if you did, you could fall and stab yourself, or which caused you to go to the hospital. If you were running with it, it could come out of your hand and stick somebody else, cause minimum injuries to them, cause you have to go to the hospital, get stitches, all that kind of garbage and stuff.
And rule number 5 is don't throw a knife to anybody. Always fold it or sheath it. So if I have this knife right here, if I wanted to hand it to him, I'm not going to hand it to him like this. I'm going to grab it backside, blade first, and hand it to him handle like that. That's how you'll safely hand it to somebody. Or if it's a fixed blade, that's for if it's a fixed blade. Now this is a lockback knife, so if I have it and I'm working with it and he asks if I can use it, I fold it and hand it to him. So that's to never throw a knife to anybody.
Rule number 6, my bad, is never point a knife at anybody, because I mean, if you went to point it at them and it came out of your hand, it could stab them. It's just not a very safe thing to do, pointing a knife at anybody. It's pretty obvious, so just don't point a knife at anybody.
Rule number 7 is to always keep your knife folded or sheathed whenever you're not using it. If it's a fixed blade knife, keep it in your sheath and put it up somewhere high where babies, toddlers, etc. can't get it, because if they do, they will find a way to finagle it open. So always keep your knife in a storage container, box, in a cool area so it doesn't decay rubber or anything off your knife or paint off your knife.
And rule number 8 is don't use a knife for prying, because you could break the tip off the knife, or if you did, you could break it and it could shoot the piece into your body or something like that, which could cause lots of injuries. So you just need to use your knife for the stuff it's meant for.
And rule number 9 is to always use your knife in a well-lit area. If you're using it in a dark room, you'll be too worried about cutting something, you won't forget your hand sitting there, and it'll slip and it'll cut your finger off or something. Always make sure you have proper lighting, workshop lights, flashlight, somebody holding a flashlight for you, something like that. That'll definitely decrease your chance of getting cut.
Mm-hmm. Rule number 10 is, just like I said a few rules back, keep your knife clean. And so if you just got done field dressing something, make sure you wash your knife off with soap and water, but be very careful washing it off, not to rub your fingers or hands over the blade or anything.
And probably the most important rule, if you do get cut, is to seek first aid quick. Immediately search for medical attention so they can wrap it the right way, so you don't wrap it too tight. And we're going to break the 4 basic types of knives down for you. We're going to break down the non-locking knife,
the lockback knife,
the fixed blade knife,
and the spring action.
So we're going to break down these 4 knives for you, and I'm going to start you off. Okay, so first off is the non-locking knife, and I've used it a lot, and it's been really good. Chipped off right there, the plastic. I mean, it's just been gone. It's gone through a lot, and it's really held up really well. This one has 3 knives on it. It has 3 different sizes. This is the largest. It's the largest size. This is the medium size. And then this one I prefer for whittling and cutting smaller stuff. It's not quite a sheep's foot. I mean, it's the same style, but it's not as small as just a sheep's foot. It's the same design, but it's a little bigger. It's about 1 inch long and 1/2 inch wide. And I like to whittle with this one, and it's really good. I mean, this one's got a can opener if you need to open a can of beans and you're cast ironing them on an open fire. That's good. It's got a leather punch, and it's got a cork opener. That's pretty cool. So these are really, and one thing you need to learn since it's not a non-locking knife, is that whenever you pull it back, there's no click, so it doesn't lock back. So what you need to do is to open it very carefully, hold it by the top, and pull it open easy, right there, okay? And then whatever you want to do is you want to hold it like this, push easily, get your fingers out of the way, and shut it. That's pretty much the basics of having to have what you need to open and shut it with. You need to open and shut it, and you can get these Bass Pro Cabela's.
Alright, so I'm going to break down the lockback knife for y'all real quick, okay? This one, personally, is a really good knife. It's a Gerber, and so it's a really good knife to just show y'all, you know, how to properly use it, and so that's what I'm going to do today. Alright, so this, the way this one opens is whenever you pull it open, the side locks in, okay? So I don't know if y'all can see the little notch in it right there in the blade. It's a way to just help you get a better grip on the blade to open it. And so whenever I do that, just like I said, the side locks in, okay? So make sure whenever you're opening it, okay, to open it away from everybody else, okay? That way nobody runs into it or something. And to shut it, the way I like to do this is to just take my thumb, push it over, get my thumb out of the way, and push it down, okay? If y'all want some good brands on a lockback knife, Kershaw, Buck is pretty good. Gerber, Benchmade's one of the best ones. There's just a lot of good knives to choose from, so y'all can make your pick on whichever one fits you best.
Okay, so the third knife is the fixed blade knife. This one was handed down from my dad. It is an old timer Schrade. It is a really good knife. I've used it for field dressing dove, and used it for just everyday cutting stuff. And it's a really good knife. This one has a nice leather sheath, and it can go around your belt and hang on your waist, on your side of your waist. Personally, I can't do that right now because you can't see it in the camera. So I'm just going to show you how it is right now. So imagine if it was on the side of your belt like this. The safe way you'd want to take it out is to use your thumb and your pointer finger, pull it out. Then once it's out, it pretty much stays there. Use your whole hand, pull it out, and it should come out like this, okay? Come out just like this. Thumb on the top, pointer finger under the little lip right here, okay? Safe way to put it back in, if it's on your belt, is to take it like this, push it down, and then with your finger, and then use your palm to shove it under, okay? That's the safe way to pull it out and in.
Okay, so I'm going to break down the spring-loaded knife for you, just like my brother said. And this, personally, is one of my favorite knives because, I mean, it's fast opening and it's sharp, which is one thing you need to be careful with. So it's personally one of my favorite knives. And so I'm just going to break it down for you today. That way maybe y'all will start loving it just as much as I do. Okay, so what I have with me today is a Kershaw spring-loaded knife. Okay, with the lever on the back. Some have buttons, some you just push open, but the one I have has the lever, which I personally love. And if you get a spring-loaded knife, get one that has a good grip on it, because grip is one of the most important things with a spring-loaded knife, because you have to be really careful opening it. This one has a great grip, and so I'm able to open it very safely, pointing it towards nobody, which is something you need to do whenever you open a knife. Point it towards nothing, nobody, okay? And so, like I did, just like I just showed, you just easily get a good grip and take your index finger and push it open, okay? Pointing it towards nobody. And then to shut it, this little piece of metal goes in like that to keep it from shutting. And so I take my thumb, push it to the side, and shut it safely just like that, okay? Keeping fingers and everything out of the way. Okay, every knife you own, non-locking, locking, spring-loaded, fixed blade, any knife you own, even a machete, okay? You just need to be safe with it, okay? So I just wanted to point these things out to you. Subscribe, like, comment, guys, that really helps us out. So, stay safe and be home for supper.